Right now, 7, the Memorial Day weekend. Travel rush continues. We'll have the numbers and how much that travel may cost you. Plus, an update to the search for a missing boater here in Madison. Hear what authorities are saying. Then later, how a local nonprofit is looking to fix a pilot shortage across the aviation industry. This is Weekend Mornings, and we thank you very much for joining us. I'm Kyle Pazorski here on this Sunday, May 25th. Actor and comedian Mike Myers turned 62 today. And let's get to the first warm forecast. Jacob Montesano standing by with that. Good morning, Jacob. Going to have a very nice forecast for Memorial Day, aren't we?
Yeah, today and tomorrow, both just about perfect. It'll be even better compared to yesterday. Now, we're still seeing some cool temperatures out there, but not too bad at all. Right now in the middle to upper 40s and lower 50s, and those temperatures are going to warm up very quickly. And similar to yesterday, we're going to see pretty much no wind, which will make the temperatures feel a bit warmer when the sun is shining. So if we take a look at today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, especially early in the day. A little bit of cloud cover once we get to the afternoon, mainly in far southern Wisconsin, but for the most part, there's going to be a lot of sun today, and the temperatures will be very comfortable. Highs will be in the middle to upper 60s. Again, very little wind, pretty much no chance of rain. Definitely get out and enjoy the weather. If you already had outdoor plans, no need to cancel at all. And La Crosse may be even warmer and sunnier, with highs possibly getting into the lower 70s. So again, it's really hard to complain about today and tomorrow. You know, it's not super warm, but obviously it's hard. Like I said, kind of hard to complain. It might get a little chilly in the morning hours, but beyond that, the afternoon and evening will be very nice. Now, we do have a chance of rain for the middle of the week, but then temperatures will get warmer after that rainfall. I'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Jacob, thank you. On to our top stories this hour. Millions of Americans are hitting the road this Memorial Day weekend, otherwise known as the unofficial start to summer. AAA says in total, an estimated 45 million Americans are traveling this holiday weekend. Most are doing so by car, with nearly 40 million Americans expected on the road.
If this weekend is any indication of what's to come, it's going to be very busy on our roadways, at the airport.
Now, at airports, the TSA expects to screen about 18 million people by the end of the travel period. At this time, airfare prices are down about 8%, and travel experts say that's partially due to airlines stripping away extras from the base fee. As for those gas prices, here's a look at the average in the Badger State. The state on a whole is down 40 cents from the same time last year. The capital city, very similar, down 41 cents from the same time, and this is all according to AAA. Got some other news this morning. The Dane County Sheriff's Office confirming a body was recovered from Lake Monona Friday night. Now, this is believed to be the missing boater who was last seen back on May 16th. The Sheriff's Office said detectives will now be continuing their investigation, and the medical examiner's office will be responsible for any additional testing to confirm the identity of the deceased male. A Madison man has been declared AWOL from the Dane County Jail Diversion Program. Casey J. Schultz, age 45, was last seen in the area of Laurel Crest Avenue in Madison. The Sheriff's Office reported Schultz is serving a sentence for contempt of court and was due to be released in 6 days. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to call the Dane County Communications Center or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. Today marks 5 years since George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis. There is now a permanent memorial in the city to ensure people will never forget that day. It was on Friday when religious leaders sang and shared reflections about the meaning of George Floyd's death and at an interfaith gathering at City Hall.
Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
Now, Derek Chauvin and 3 other former Minneapolis police officers were convicted in state and federal courts on charges related to Floyd's death. A few conservatives have called for a presidential pardon, but Minneapolis police say that is very unlikely. President Trump delivered the commencement address at West Point Saturday, telling cadets they are entering a golden era in U.S. military history. But this comes amid major changes in Washington, with the White House slashing the size of the National Security Council. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
With cadets in their dress uniforms, President Trump donned his signature red MAGA hat as he delivered the commencement address at the United States Military Academy at West Point.
You are the first West Point graduates of the golden age of America.
Continuing a 200-year presidential tradition, it's the second time Trump has addressed graduating cadets.
The job of the U.S. Armed Forces is not to host drag shows, to transform foreign cultures. The military's job is to dominate any foe and annihilate any threat to America anywhere, anytime, and any place.
As the class of 2025 celebrated, there was word in Washington about major changes at the White House. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced a major reduction in the size of the National Security Council. Half of staffers are expected to be fired or reassigned elsewhere, and the influence of the council will be greatly reduced.
When I have a problem, I call up Marco. He gets it solved.
Secretary Rubio replaced Mike Waltz as National Security Advisor a few weeks ago, as he continues to lead the State Department. Overseas, American allies in Europe are bracing for new tariffs. Trump has announced a 50% levy on European imports set to begin by June 1st.
We've been ripped off by every nation in the world on trade.
The president is also threatening a 25% tariff on Apple devices like the iPhone, trying to push the tech giant to produce its products in the U.S. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Apple had already announced a $500 billion investment here in the U.S. for manufacturing, but the president said he is frustrated that the company is also investing in a $1.5 billion plant from a supplier in India. Well, back here in more local news, Community Action of Beloit celebrating its 60th anniversary Saturday. Now this as it continues to reduce poverty and bring resources to those in need in both Rock and Walworth counties. The event featured a cookout, guest speakers, and live performances, all raising awareness for the cause, all while having a good time.
We serve a very diverse range of individuals, and so today, our community partners, our community members, and those who we strategize with come from all different backgrounds. So we're expecting to have members from all different backgrounds to be in attendance today.
For more on the Community Action Inc., just head on over to community-action.org. You can find all the information they have there. Right now, the U.S. aviation industry is facing a pilot shortage across commercial, military, and for the private sectors as well. This morning, our Ellie LaLiberte introduces us to a Madison nonprofit working to turn that around.
I was very curious. That curiosity is what brought Ashley Zongo here, to take to the skies as a teenager. I love the experience.
It's really like their first look at aviation.
For Susan Schwab, the hum of an airplane is a familiar sound.
I flew for United for 30 years, and still it's only 6% female pilots, and pilots of color even less.
That's what led Susan to help start the Willa Brown Aviation Academy, a nonprofit that offers free flight events to underrepresented youth.
Honestly, girls and kids of color really don't have any exposure, for the most part, to people in aviation.
Giving girls like Ashley a chance that Susan wishes she had.
That's really what all our programs are about, is just giving the kids confidence and thinking like, wow, I could do this. Because I did not have that idea until I was older.
The Academy puts on a Wings to Fly event, which gives those kids a one-on-one flight and planning session.
I was happy that she was my pilot.
Ashley flew with Susan during the one-day program last year. Now she's in the Madison Youth Aviation Club.
I'm still really nervous, like flying by myself and stuff like that. So that's definitely what keeps making me come back to experience it and maybe become a pilot.
Susan wanting to take the nonprofit to new heights.
We're working right now on establishing a scholarship program
to encourage the next generation to spread their wings.
It was inspiring, and they need more women in it.
Reporting at the Middleton Airport, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
And our thanks to Ellie for that report. To learn more about class and camp schedules, you can find that on willaflight.org. Now, looking around the state, a community in Milwaukee is paying tribute to a woman who went missing and was brutally murdered. It was on Friday when people gathered at a growing memorial outside the restaurant where Sadie Robinson worked. The 19-year-old vanished in April of 2024. The following day, a hiker found some of her remains in a city park. Police later found her car torched in Milwaukee.
I don't know her physically, but in my heart, my spirit, I feel her. And that's why I came out here.
The man accused of killing her is set to go on trial this week. He is facing numerous charges, including murder and dismembering Robinson's body. Up north, the Ho-Chunk Nation celebrating Memorial Day with a weekend-long powwow. On Saturday, Nation members from all over the state came to the Andrew Blackhawk Powwow grounds in Black River Falls, all to take part in the gathering. This powwow honors veterans and those who died in the line of service. Attendees say the powwow is a great opportunity to spend time with family and celebrate their culture. Time now is 7:10. Still ahead, the popular Memorial Day concert is taking place tonight in the nation's capital, and we'll hear from the MC about what it means for families of those who died for our country. Plus, Jacob is back with a full look of your Sunday forecast and what to expect on your Memorial Day. This is Weekend Mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. We're going to see very nice temperatures and conditions today and tomorrow. Rain is expected for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then it will be warmer by the time we get to next weekend. So for today, upper 60s, lower 70s, plenty of sunshine. Get out and enjoy the weather. But if you can't today, tomorrow will be just as nice. But we still are going to see some cool temperatures overnight. Lows will drop into the middle 40s, maybe near 50 for areas off to the west. But then for Memorial Day afternoon, upper 60s and lower 70s will return. Maybe a little bit more cloud cover, but otherwise the forecast will be very similar. Now checking out our next chance of rain, pretty much no chance of rain today and tomorrow. Maybe an isolated shower for Memorial Day afternoon, but it shouldn't affect any outdoor plans. Once we get to Tuesday morning, we'll start to see more consistent rain move into the area, and especially Tuesday night, we'll see widespread showers and a few isolated thunderstorms as well. That will continue for most of Wednesday. We're not expecting severe weather, but we could see plenty of rain from this system. And although throughout the day on Wednesday, the rain may not be quite as heavy, it may last for the entire day and into the overnight hours, finally clearing out by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. But before it does clear out, we could see about 1 to 2 inches of rain for the entire area. And this is really the only solid chance of rain going forward. So definitely, you know, it'd be nice if we get a good amount of rainfall if we do end up being very dry for the extended forecast. But the good news is that while it is going to be dry, we are going to see those temperatures pretty nice up into the upper 70s and lower 80s, a little bit above normal, whereas the next 4 to 5 days will still be below that normal level. So here's a full look at the 7 to 10 day forecast. Rain expected Tuesday, Wednesday, but a lot of very nice days going forward today, and tomorrow will be nice. Starting Thursday afternoon through the middle of next week will be very nice. Maybe some thunderstorms by Tuesday of next week, but the weekend is almost certainly looking dry at this point. So if you like some cooler temperatures, this weekend's perfect for you. And if you like the warmer temperatures, next weekend is perfect for you. And the rainfall going to occur during the week while most people are at work, so shouldn't be too much of a hazard.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, that is very nice to have on the days that people are inside working and not not on the weekend when they're outside enjoying it.
Such a perfect forecast in that regard.
Exactly. All right, Jacob, thank you. As is tradition this weekend, the National Memorial Day Concert will air from the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol for its 36th annual broadcast. Tony Award-winning actor Joe Mantegna will host the concert, which will honor veterans who passed on, including the husband of Gold Star wife Krista Simpson Anderson. Our Susan Simon spoke with both of them.
Joe, how long have you been participating in this beloved holiday tradition?
Well, this is going to be my 23rd consecutive year doing this concert. I did the first one in 2002, and it has become the most important thing I do every year, without question.
One of the most moving parts of this concert, besides the music, is just the powerful storytelling and honoring all of our veterans, past and present. Krista, you are a Gold Star, a member of a Gold Star family, which is incredibly important that everyone remembers the sacrifice that families are making. Tell us your story. Tell us about your husband.
So we're so grateful that my husband, Staff Sergeant Michael Harrison Simpson, is being honored this year. And people all over the world get to hear his name and his story. And that's really special. He passed away 12 years ago due to wounds sustained in Afghanistan while he was serving with 1st Special Forces Group, 4th Battalion Charlie Company. And our boys at the time were, Michael was 3 and Gabriel was 1. And Mike comes from a military background, a military family. It really is the family business. We all are coming together in DC to attend the concert. And so it's just going to be a really beautiful time for us to celebrate Mike's life.
What an honor for you, and how brave of you. Joe, tell us a little bit more about what we can see and expect with this year's concert.
Well, again, we'll see the story of Sergeant Simpson. There's going to be Blair Underwood, the wonderful actor, will be recounting a story about a Vietnam-era helicopter pilot and that story. Robert Patrick will be telling the story of one of the survivors from Iwo Jima, World War II, especially this being an anniversary year of since the end of World War II itself. So, I mean, once again, it's that combination of music, dramatic readings, speeches. I always encourage people to just take 90 minutes out of this wonderful weekend that we've been allotted. Go have your barbecue, watch the Indianapolis 500, have a good time, carve out 90 minutes, and you'll understand why this holiday is so important, why we've been granted this holiday, and why, in my mind, it's the most important holiday we celebrate in this country, because it allows us to have all the other holidays. So,
and hopefully this is something that brings us all together, especially in these divided times. This is something that really can connect us.
Without question, one thing I always want to state is this is not political. I'm not a political person. I've been an independent my whole life. So this isn't about politics. This is about the men and women who have sacrificed to allow us to live the life we live.
Have a wonderful Memorial Day. We'll all be watching. Krista, thank you so much for participating in this. Joe, best of luck. And we'll see you on Sunday night.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And of course, the National Memorial Day concert airs live this evening from 7 to 8:30 p.m. on PBS. It also is streaming on YouTube and the PBS website at the link there on your screen. Pretty easy to find, though, if you can't write that down. Time now is 7:20, still ahead. Jacob has another quick check of how to plan out your Memorial Day. Plus, here's a look at today's day in history.
Hello, everybody. Here's a look at the current drought monitor. This was released on Thursday, so it's as of May 22nd. But the drought monitor that goes in Thursday only takes the rainfall through about Monday to Tuesday. So the rainfall that we saw this past Tuesday that brought about 1.5 inches to Madison, it is not included in this drought monitor. So that rain may make next week's drought monitor look better. Plus, we have that very good chance of rain for the middle of the week that could bring about another 1 to 2 inches of rain across our area. So overall, drought conditions are certainly, we're not too concerned about it, because although they have started to form, we have had some rain lately, and we're going to see some rain this week, despite the fact that we are going to be pretty dry after that rainfall moves through. And as we look at the full 7 to 10 day forecast, there's a lot of sunny days starting Friday and continuing for the middle of next week. And today and tomorrow will also be pretty sunny. So although, we've had a few dry periods so far this spring, with the moments at time where the drought has, formed across southern Wisconsin, we're still not too concerned about a long drought that may persist.
All right, Jacob, thank you. On to more news. Researchers say they've discovered a new dwarf planet at the edge of our solar system. The team who discovered it say the dwarf planet is one of the most distant visible objects in the solar system, naming it 2017 OF201. A very catchy name. Well, and researchers also say it is large enough to rival the size of Pluto. They had previously thought no celestial bodies existed in an empty section of space beyond Neptune, but the discovery shows that part of space is not so empty after all. And get out your favorite bottle of your favorite wine, because, of course, it's National Wine Day. The alcoholic drink made from, of course, fruit fermented has been a favorite for thousands of years. Wine is made from all different types of grapes, producing different kinds of wines, with the most expert winemakers combining different wines to create even more complex flavors. Whether it's red or white, pour a glass out of your favorite and celebrate today. All right, 7:26 now, still ahead on weekend mornings. Got another look at today's biggest news and weather headlines. We're back at the bottom of the hour. Right now, 7:30, some possible traffic delays to start out your Sunday here in Madison. We have the details on the annual Run Madtown race.
And we're going to see very nice conditions today and tomorrow. Now the full forecast coming up.
Then later, got a tribute honoring Wisconsin soldiers for Memorial Day. Our Tanisha Shaw will report on that. This is Weekend Mornings, and once again, we do thank you for joining us. I'm Kyle Pazurski here on the Sunday, May the 25th. And let's get to the first warm forecast. Jacob Montestano standing by with that. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Kyle. Temperatures today are going to be even better than what they were yesterday, and we're kind of already seeing that with the temperatures right now a little bit better than this time yesterday, upper 40s, lower 50s. If we take a look at the current radar, completely dry right now, and that's going to be the case throughout the entire day. Looking at the forecast, we'll see plenty of sunshine, especially early, maybe a few clouds later in the day. But for the most part, we are going to see a lot of sunshine. Even when we do see some clouds develop, we'll see partly sunny skies. So looking at the forecast, highs will be in the middle to upper 60s. We'll get to the lower 60s as early as 10 a.m. with very calm winds throughout the day as well, similar to yesterday. So that will help make the temperatures feel a bit warmer. And you folks in La Crosse will see temperatures even warmer than us here in Madison. Highs could hit the lower 70s for you folks under almost completely sunny skies. And across the board, highs will be in the upper 60s to lower 70s for just about everybody, maybe a little bit cooler closer to Milwaukee. So enjoy the weather today. If you can't today, tomorrow will be just as nice, but we are going to see some rain for the middle of the week. Those details coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Now, topping our news this half hour, got some potential traffic delays in downtown Madison for the annual Run Madtown. One of the races already took place last night. Now today, 2 runs, both will go through downtown at the UW campus, UW Arboretum, and Greenbush neighborhood, like you're seeing there on the screen. These are the 10K and half marathon, just started over a half an hour ago down by the Capitol Square. Both are expected to end by 11 a.m. Lane closures for the event will reopen as each runner passes through. If you do plan to head down to any of these neighborhoods between now and the race's end, you can find detailed information on the impacted streets over at runmadtown.com. Staying in Madison, the Dane County Sheriff's Office now confirming a body was recovered from Lake Monona Friday night. This is believed to be the missing boater who was last seen back on May 16th. The Sheriff's Office said detectives will continue their investigation, and the medical examiner's office will be responsible for additional testing to confirm the identity of the deceased male. A strike for this Tuesday at Madison's Meritor Hospital has hospital management asking patients to factor in some additional time this week for parking at and entering their facility. They say Meritor will continue to offer valet services and parking on private property, but all patients should try to enter the hospital through the main entrance or the second floor parking ramp. Although delays getting into the hospital are expected, Meritor wants patients to know the strike won't affect the quality of care.
They have laws to follow. We have rules, regulations, laws to follow also. So we will be sure that there is safe egress for anyone coming into our hospital. But once you get into the hospital, you will see the same exceptional care, service, greeting that you would find on any day.
Management and the union are set to meet once again this Thursday. And a statement from the Meritor RN Bargaining Committee on the latest offer reads in part, quote, management's recent proposal makes no progress on security or staffing. Their proposal made minimal movement on across-the-board wage increases. Meritor says it's received no counterproposal this past week from the union. Graduating cadets at West Point hearing from their commander-in-chief on Saturday. President Trump delivering the commencement speech coming as his administration has been cracking down on diversity initiatives all across higher education, including at the military academy. Those changes specifically at West Point led to the resignation of one professor. Trump yesterday having this to say.
We've liberated our troops from divisive and demeaning political trainings. There will be no more critical race theory or transgender for everybody forced onto our brave men and women in uniform or on anybody else for that matter in this country.
In the hour-long speech, the president also noted some investments for the so-called Golden Dome missile defense system and new stealth planes. According to West Point, 252 of Saturday's graduates were women, including the valedictorian. Staying in politics, United States senators will soon be considering the so-called beautiful big bill. And as far as the Wisconsin congressional delegation is concerned, they all fall along party lines. The bill is the product of weeks-long negotiations in Congress, extending some tax cuts while placing restrictions on certain federal benefits. But the major question is, how will this impact Wisconsinites? We posed that question to Congressman Mark Pocan, as well as Brian Stile.
Well, this is a big, beautiful bill if you're a billionaire. For everyone else, we're all going to pay for it in different ways. Some people, 14 million people, are going to lose their health insurance across the country. 11 million people will lose food assistance.
So a lot of the fear-mongering of those that are saying that this will injure people, I think are missing the point. What we're doing is strengthening the program for those that truly need it, and making sure that we're testing the program so that those individuals that the program's not designed for, that we lift them up off the need of the program and into a good or better paying job.
Now, this is all part of a larger conversation with the two congressmen, and you can hear from both of them later on today at 10:30 on For the Record here on WISC-TV. Still ahead here on Weekend Mornings, got some details on what to expect on the last day of Brat Fest. We're back with that after this. Certainly not be Memorial Day weekend here in Madison without, of course, Brat Fest. It's happening this weekend. The fun continued yesterday with people from across the Midwest getting to taste the best brats in the land. We had the chance to catch up with some of the Brat Fest goers on what their favorite brats are and how they would rate them.
The brat was 13 out of 100. 13 out of 10.
Absolutely fantastic. I am always a fan of the jalapeno and cheddar ones. Can't beat the Johnsonville brats. They got the, not too big, but just the perfect size, easily consumable. Very nice.
Of course, Brat Fest continues on today through 9 p.m., wrapping up then. Of course, a bunch of live music. Fun event, Jacob. Let's check back in with the forecast now.
Yeah, we are going to see those temperatures for the next 10 days be a little bit more consistent than the last 2 weeks. As you can see, very up and down. We had temperatures in the upper 80s, and then a few days later, we had those temperatures barely reach 50. Now, although we are going to see those temperatures still be a little up and down, it'll be a lot less dramatic than we saw over the past 10 days. We are going to see those warmer temperatures by the time we get to the end of this week. So we'll be near 70 today and tomorrow, middle to lower 60s for Tuesday and Wednesday when the rain does come through, and then after that, it will warm up. Upper 70s once we get towards Friday and Saturday, lower 80s by the time we get to Sunday and early next week. And it looks like some warm temperatures may continue for our area as we take a look at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So we may finally start to see some consistent summer-like temperatures starting this Friday.
Thank you, Jacob. Now, springtime is, of course, the perfect time to refresh and rejuvenate your yard. However, it is important to approach yard cleanup with safety in mind. Our Kyron Lee has how to do so in this week's Health Conversation.
This morning, we have tips and precautions to help you clean up your yard safely. Joining me now is Dr. Rupa Shah, SSM Health, Family Medicine Physician, and Wellness Coach. Dr. Shah, thanks for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
So what should we wear when cleaning up the yard?
Yeah, so the main thing is there's lots of unknowns out, when you're first going out, right, in the spring and summer kind of cleaning up your yard. So really just protective clothing is a great idea. Wearing gloves, because you're going to be handling a lot of things. Long sleeves, so you're protecting your arms. Can't tell you the number of times I've seen people covered in poison ivy, poison oak. Long pants and really good sturdy shoes, because you can get a lot of brush and grass and little sticks and things that can kind of poke you on your feet as well. So good idea to kind of stay as covered as you can, and even get protective eyewear if you're going to be working with any chemicals and such.
All right, that's first good steps. So what precautions should we take when using lawn equipment?
this?
Yeah, so some of this equipment now, remember, you haven't used since last year. So really just making sure, is it still in working order? Remembering, you know, the instruction manuals, how to use everything safely. Again, proper safety goggles if you need to. Protecting your eyes is just as important as the rest of you, and making sure pets and children are sort of out of the way as well, and just knowing where everybody is situationally when you're starting to use that sort of equipment. Yeah.
And to piggyback off that, how can we prevent injuries while working out there in the yard too?
Yeah, same kind of concept. So if you're working with any chemicals, fertilizers, again, having protective hand gear as well, like gloves, protecting your eyes. And if you're working with these chemicals and fumes, making sure you're wearing your mask as well, so that you're not inhaling these sorts of chemicals and fumes and such too.
And what should we do if we encounter wildlife or pests?
Yeah, so if you are working and you see pests, snakes, rodents, anything like that, keep your distance. That's probably number one. If you do need to contact local animal control as well. And then just making sure if you're seeing a lot of like insects and stuff, you may need like insect repellent. You may need to call a professional for pest control. And you may need to put out specific traps and things like that too, to kind of get things under control.
Yes, I would be the one to call the professionals.
I would too. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Perfect. All good tips, especially as the warmer months roll on in.
Yes.
Dr. Shaw, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
And our time now, 7:43, still ahead. Andrew is back with a look at Saturday's sports highlights, plus Jacob's final full check of the Memorial Day holiday weather. That's all ahead here on Weekend Mornings. And before we go, we got a special third birthday. Shout out to Eris. Happy birthday. We're back in a bit.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. Not much has changed from the forecast yesterday. Very nice for today and tomorrow, with rain expected Tuesday and Wednesday, but it will be warmer by the time we get to next weekend after that rain clears out. So here's a final look at today's forecast. Upper 60s, lower 70s, partly to mostly sunny skies, just about perfect. A little bit cool during the morning, but those temperatures will warm up very quickly. We also will see very little wind. We also will see those cool temperatures return tonight, as lows may drop into the lower 40s for some areas, but then they're going to rise very quickly back into the upper 60s and lower 70s for the weekend. Again, more partly sunny skies, maybe a little bit more cloud cover tomorrow, but otherwise still very good. Now let's check out that chance of rain. Not going to see that for today and tomorrow. Maybe an isolated shower Memorial Day afternoon, but it shouldn't impact any outdoor plans. Late Monday night into Tuesday is when we will start to see some rain move into the area, and then everyone will see that rain move in by the time we get to Tuesday evening, with Tuesday night being the most likely time frame for the rainfall, as we'll see consistent rain, sometimes heavy rain throughout much of the night, and that is expected to continue for much of Wednesday as well, although it may be a little bit lighter during the day on Wednesday. That rain is expected to continue to linger for Wednesday night and possibly even early Thursday as well, before it clears out by Thursday afternoon. But total precipitation, because it may last from Tuesday morning through Thursday morning, we could see about 1 to 2 inches of rain in total, and this is especially going to be the case for central Wisconsin, but still going to see quite a bit of rain in southern Wisconsin as well. Now, this is really the only good chance of rain going forward, because after that clears out, Wednesday night into Thursday, we are going to see dry conditions for the weekend. Might see that rain return towards the middle of next week, but we're almost certainly going to be dry once we get to next weekend. And we're also going to be dry today and tomorrow. So as a whole, there are a lot of very nice days in the forecast. Again, today and tomorrow, a little bit on the cooler side, but still very nice for the afternoon. Yeah. And then once we get to the weekend, we are going to see those temperatures warmer, with highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s. And the good news is that the rain is going to occur during the work week. So really a very nice 10-day forecast is expected.
Friday night was the 25th annual charity softball game put on by Packer players, and the first year that Jordan Love hosted the event by himself. The game raised over $130,000 for Jordan's Hands of Love Foundation and was a testament to the community's love for their quarterback. As for first-round receiver Matthew Golden, it served as a testament that he needs to spend some time in the batting cages.
This is what Green Bay is all about. This is what Wisconsin is. This is what Packer fans are about. And it's just awesome. And they show out every year and pack this stadium out. And it's just a fun event every year.
It's my first time hitting the bar, man. So I ain't think I was going to hit one today, but I did. So that's good enough. I met my expectations. So next time I'm going to definitely try to hit a home run.
The next step on UW Whitewater Baseball's tour to avenge last year's national runner-up finish is to get back to the World Series. And a win yesterday over Oshkosh would punch their ticket back. And this one was over before it started. In the 8th inning, Adam Thies hits one of his 2 homers during the game, wooing his Warhawks to a 10-0 victory. And from there, as you can imagine, the party was on. How'd you like to be at the bottom of that dog pile? The Warhawks are headed back to the World Series, which starts on Friday. Down to Enid, Oklahoma, where the Madison College Wolfpack baseball team defeated Lackawanna College in a first-round thriller. 7-6, the final score. Next up for them in the second round, they'll play 4th-seeded Heartland. The Brewers trying to avoid losing for the 3rd time in their last 4 games, which is a challenge when your offense does not show up. The only time that it did yesterday was in the 2nd inning when rookie Caleb Durbin dinked one up the middle to tie things at 1 apiece. But in the 7th, with the same score, O'Neal Cruz, who hit 2 home runs 2 nights ago, puts the Pirates up for good as Milwaukee drops their 2nd straight at the hands of Pittsburgh. 2-1, the final score. That's your morning sports fix. Have a marvelous end to your Memorial Day weekend.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And still ahead here on Weekend Mornings, it's a cosmic joust fighting in the cosmos. We'll chat about that next. Plus, here's a look at what's to come on For the Record.
Hey, Kyle. Yeah, coming up this morning on For the Record, you know that big, beautiful bill passing out of the House this week in D.C.? Well, we talked to 2 Wisconsin lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, kind of breaking down what that will have as an impact here for Wisconsin. Plus, we also got an inside glimpse into the Wisconsin National Guard with their new Adjutant General. We have a one-on-one sit-down with General Matthew Strub. That's ahead this morning at 10:30.
Well, finally this morning, for the first time ever, astronomers may have spotted a deep space battle between 2 galaxies. Astronomers are calling it a cosmic joust. It is essentially a distant snapshot of 2 galaxies in the process of merging into one large galaxy 11 billion light years away. The scientists witnessed it by using a combined observation from ground-based telescopes over nearly 4 years. The study's authors say after the galaxies charged towards each other, one galaxy repeatedly wielded its intense beams of radiation at the other one. So as a result, the researchers say that radiation weakened the victim galaxy's ability to form new stars.
I like how they call it a joust. That's funny.
Well,
It's kind of
they're fighting with the radiation going back and forth.
Yeah, and you said they're on a collision course, right? That's kind of like our galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy. If you're not familiar, they're supposed to collide in like 3 billion years.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know. It is funny, like when you see the meme, and it's like when you as a kid like freaking out when you realize the sun's gonna like die in like a billion years, and it's like, oh my gosh, my life's over. Even though it's
we're
like
not
going to
be around. But cool stuff to learn about.
They'll happen a little bit after the next 10 days. So let's take a look at just the 10-day forecast because we know we're going to be good for that time frame.
The sun will rise. The sun will rise.
So we're going to see very nice conditions today and tomorrow. Rain Tuesday through early Thursday, and then it is going to warm up for next weekend. Upper 70s, lower 80s. We may finally see some consistent summer-like temperatures begin Friday. That does look to last for the foreseeable future, but even today and tomorrow, hard to complain about the forecast. And like we were saying earlier, Kyle, the rain is falling at the perfect time, right in the middle of the work week. Not going to impact any Memorial Day plans. And next weekend, when people are off again, it's gonna be very nice once again.
Unless you're a roofer.
Right.
It's good news.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jacob. And thank you all for watching us here on Weekend Mornings. Coming up next is CBS Sunday Morning, followed by Face the Nation. And For the Record, our next newscast is coming up at 5:30 tonight. Have a great Sunday.